Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel V. Hill, presented by Superbook Sports. Taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel V. Hill.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday, D-Mac.
I'm happy that it's Wednesday.
You are?
Well, it's just.
I wish it was Friday.
We're just another moment closer to another fantastic Rockies game, Rachel. And
I saw you tweeting everything last night.
I said there's a window for the Rockies.
Yes.
They have 10 days to have my undivided attention.
Okay.
Before training camp starts.
I like it.
Because there was the parade. You know, the Nuggets won the NBA championship. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I went away for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was working a little bit, but still. On a little vacay.
Enjoying your little time off.
Yeah, and so now you get back in training camp, and we can't wait for training camp to get going.
I can't believe it's going to be here so soon.
There's a window, and we are in that window right now. I'm not going to do something silly like advocate for a protest.
Okay.
Instead, what I'm going to do is actually pay attention. And what's fair to criticize, what's not fair to criticize, what's good, what's bad, what does it really look like out there? And we saw another game last night. We actually saw one of the most remarkable Rockies games, but I don't know when we're going to get into that, but I'll leave it alone.
Well, we could definitely get into it. So can we criticize Bud Black and why he's gotten extension after extension?
You know, you'd have to look into the manager at some point. So I'm just looking at things sort of game by game. Okay. I can definitely talk in detail and bore you with the details of the Rockies game last night, but I don't have to, whatever you want to get into.
30-second wrap, go quick.
They had a remarkable game because they had to use their bullpen. They used 7 different pitchers. It's the first, they gave up 3 runs with their starter, Bird, but then they had all the rest of their pitchers shut down the Astros, who were the world champs. They gave up 3 in the first. They won 4-3. They got out of 3 jams where they could have given up a bunch of runs, and they got out of them each time. And they got they got a home run from Chris Bryant, which was cool.
We're finally starting to see more Chris Bryant action.
And they also blew offensive chances where they had men on second and third after 2 errors by the Astros, no outs, and they didn't cash in on that. So they dodged bullets. Yeah. They dodged bullets in allowing runs and where they should have scored runs to get the win. So it wasn't like a perfect game, but all things considered, there were 44,000 fans there, 44,000 people in attendance. The Astros obviously won the World Series last year, so that's going to draw a significant amount of attention. But they've won 3 out of 4 games. They have never had 8 straight innings closed out with no runs by relievers ever in the club's history.
That's
so,
crazy.
You had something there that actually looked pretty good.
Beat the Astros.
They did beat the Astros. The Astros are a good team. The Yankees are a good team. The Yankees are in last place, but they still have a winning record.
Yeah.
The Yankees went off to Los Angeles to the Angels, and they're having a hard time. But they're still a good team, and so are the Astros. And the Rockies had their way with not had their way. They won. They won. They found a way to win close games. Yep. And that's pretty cool.
No.
But that's it, man. I'm paying attention for a few days.
I see you.
And that's they play again at 1:00. We'll see what the crowd's like.
I see you.
But, Rachel, I mean, you explained to me, why were there 44,000 people on a Tuesday night down there for the worst team record-wise in the National League?
Okay, so you watched this on TV. I just want to make it clear you weren't in the stands, correct?
I actually looked into tickets, and tickets were hard to find.
Okay, I was just going to say, could you tell if people were actually watching the game, or was it more about drinking lemonade and sitting out in the 90-degree weather?
I mean, it's always fun to drink lemonade and watch a baseball game, but no, I don't know. I mean, listen, it's a baseball game. However you participate and watch a baseball game, I suppose, is up to you. But the game was 2 hours and 38 minutes. So it was moving right along.
Love that it's faster.
It was close. There were some home runs. There was some action. There was guys on the bases. There were outs. There were errors. There were all sorts of things going on. Listen, if you just want to be a Debbie Downer about the Rockies and hate on the ownership and all that, I've heard it all. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you if that's it. But if we're just going to watch a baseball game and really we're going to throw out the standings and everything else, and we just want to see our team compete, then you got a good night of entertainment for yourself last night. I don't know what else to say. If you just want to hate, you can hate. But I do love baseball, so I enjoy breaking it down and watching. I'll be critical when it's time to be critical, and I'll give praise when there's time to give praise. Okay. And last night, there were more reasons to give praise than to be critical. So
Job
there
well
you
done.
go.
It was definitely longer than 30 seconds, but job well done.
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I
Can't
actually
help
appreciate it. You giving me a different outlook on it. I think I have a hard time with the Rockies is because really, as long as I've been alive, it feels like they've never really done anything and they've never made changes. A lot of the times you get so fed up with something that you're like, okay, we want to change the head coach like you did with the Broncos. We were like, we want to see that. We want to see movement. And with the Rockies, it feels like it's just stagnant. So it's like you lost hope in it.
Yeah, I think there's times to like, well, what is this team? How do you develop it? And it's certainly much more exciting, Rachel, if you're somewhere in some sort of playoff mix.
For sure.
So when you're so bizarrely out of it, you really say, well, what is there to watch? Then I like to dig into the stories behind the guys that are there. And there's a lot of younger guys on the Rockies who are trying to make their way.
Sure.
So I actually find that pretty compelling. That being said, the trade deadline's coming up relatively soon, and they should dump all their old vets that they can and just lean into the youth movement.
Go young, baby.
There's not much of a choice left. So anybody who's a little bit older that's got any kind of value should be dealt. So Diaz should be dealt. Bard should be dealt. Crone should be dealt. They should all be dealt because you have a pack of young guys coming up, and there's no reason to hold on to these older guys. They sunk their teeth into Chris Bryant. You probably can't get out of that one. But other than that, I'm enjoying seeing younger guys. I love seeing Ezekiel Tovar hit a triple. I like watching Michael Toglio when he plays first base, play first base. Logan Jones, like who's Logan Jones? Like I have an appreciation, I think, of how damn hard it is to be a major league player in the first place. So to see a bunch of young guys sort of develop, and they're trying their hardest, Rachel.
For sure.
They're not trying. They're giving their full maximum effort every time out there. So I can support that while still being critical of ownership and the other things they've done.
I think you also have another respect for it because you've watched your son, obviously. And
that's right.
It's a complete grind at the college level, minor level, anything to get to that position. So I think you have a deeper level of respect for it.
I appreciate baseball that's played well, and not all the time is it played well. And when Ryan McMahon makes two dumb throwing errors against the Yankees,
what are you going to do about it?
Well, I mean, that's just unusual because he's a major league infielder. Anyways, the Rockies, I'm not going to twist your arm on it. I am not going to insist that, you have to love the Rockies or watch.
The comment section actually really does care about baseball. So I appreciate it for that reason.
For those who like it, for those who are into it, I'm here to talk about it and break it down.
Follow him on Twitter. Because
I'll live tweet for 10 days. You get it for 10 days and then it's done. That's it. It's not that long. Some people are like outraged that I would even look at it.
Really?
Period.
James Marilat comment on it?
It's to me, the whole boycott thing is so dumb. Like it's a dumb concept. Nobody cares, and it's.
Do you think that the Rockies will be any good in the next 5 years?
No, I don't think the Rockies will ever win a World Series.
Oh, that is on that note. We need to move on because that is depressing right there. But in Power Field, they're going bigger and better with a giant new field down there. Mike Kliss tweeting out this photo. Huge. It's massive. Thunder Vision looks ginormous, and I thought already that it was big.
I have a buddy of mine who actually works with Thunder Vision. You met him, Pat.
Yep, great dude.
And I asked for permission to show this video. I said, you can't quite show it because the Broncos are going to have like an official, release.
You've seen some behind the scenes.
He did.
No, you can't do it.
It's just cool. It's just what I saw a little something what it can do.
Okay.
It was very little, but it looks cool. I think it'll enhance the enjoyment of the games. I think it's difficult when you're in the stands to see a lot of things.
Okay.
Well, not now. I mean, you're going to be able to, and not only is it going to be great for replays and watching the game, but it's going to add like stats and other interactive sort of elements.
Okay.
Here's the crazy thing about football in person. How can we, these clubs, make the football experience as good as sitting on your couch?
Yeah.
And that's how are they going to get your entertainment dollars? I mean, can you imagine going to a movie theater that doesn't have those comfortable seats and, select service? I mean, it's just
food
like
delivered to you.
Right. It's just like the way things are now. So that's what they're trying to do. I support what the money that they're putting into it.
How long is the video?
It's just a couple seconds, but it's cool.
So if we do my reaction to it, Will I get people excited?
No, it's so goofy. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's not like you told me you got engaged.
That's still one of the best videos ever.
It's just kind of, all right, I'll show it to you.
Okay, let's see, everybody. That's massive, though. Right. If you were driving by 25, though, you would easily see this.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. That's him.
Massive. Anyways. Okay, well, I'm excited for people to see it.
You didn't really miss anything, okay?
Oh, no.
You really didn't miss anything.
It just kind of shows you how big it is. Yes. Again, when they redid it, 5 years ago? I feel like they redid it recently.
Relatively, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks even bigger and better. That's crazy.
I think it's going to enhance the experience.
You could sit in the parking lot and you could understand what's going on.
Well, I think the picture that you put up for Mike Kliss was just somebody from
I think just
somebody driving by.
It's massive, though.
I don't know how you would have got that picture just driving by, but I don't know.
Zoomed in? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, could you? Yeah, I guess. Could you take that? Maybe you could. Maybe it's that big.
Maybe.
If you're driving on 25, you take that photo.
It's massive, but I'm excited for the first preseason game against the Rams, which is obviously game number 3 preseason. Mm-hmm. That's going to be here before we know it. But if you're headed out to training camp, there's good news. If you're not able to make it, you can return your ticket now. Wow, whoever thought we would be in this kind of situation? I
had a couple of people say they tried to return their tickets. This is about a week ago.
Okay.
And they weren't able to do it. So I think this is a little blip that they had in this system, and now they
figured it out.
They fixed the blip. It doesn't matter, though. You are going to have the lowest attended training camp in Broncos history.
Yep.
There are going to be people that just snatched up tickets. I said a million times, if you have a birthday party, if you want 15 people there, invite 40, and that's what this is going to be like. Yeah. So whatever. It's as long as everybody's okay with that.
If you want 15 people, invite 40.
Well,
that's a little sad.
If you're me, and we found out too, things are going to be different in terms of how they always had the media picnic, and then that's all kind of changing too. The rookies are actually reporting, I think, later this week.
Yes.
They're coming
and a lot of teams. I mean, I saw that the Chiefs rookies were reporting today. A lot of teams are, but I haven't heard the Broncos official date yet. As you sip your coffee.
Sorry about that. It is coffee break.
Yeah.
So they're everything's just going to be
different.
Slightly different. Are you okay with everything being slightly different?
I'm okay with it as long as they win. That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. If they win, if they lose, then I'm going to be pissed because we lost all of the access that we've had. We love showing people. I love showing people behind the scenes of what it's like. I'm going to be pissed if they're not any better.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Here's what I think. I think they're just trying to fly under the radar.
I do too.
As much as humanly possible. It's making it difficult recently because of Russ. Russ just, the dude can't help himself. He can't. But they are trying their best just to keep the bar low.
Can you imagine being Russ's marketing team, whatever he's paying all of them, and they're like, yeah, we need to shut this all down, so just don't post about me.
It's very difficult.
That's tough.
I mean, they have their wheels in motion on so many things. Yeah. If you're right, he does have a marketing team. He does have a lot of things going on, a lot of promises to other people. And how do you do all that when you're supposed to keep, keep things on the down low? And the truth is, recently, Russ isn't. Russ is turning things up. Russ is drawing attention to himself. Russ is opening up airport stores.
That was already there, though.
When I was LRC, it was being built.
I was going to say, when I was at the airport going to Hawaii, I saw it.
Well, yeah, because it was being built.
Yeah.
Was it open?
I don't know. We were there so early that I couldn't have told you if people could go in there.
You were in Concourse C, obviously, Southwest, and I was too, and we were there the same day.
We were there the same day on D-Mac's birthday, and yet I didn't know it was D-Mac's birthday, and I'm still mad at him about it. So
that's all right. So, but I saw it. I don't think it was open because I walked right past it too, and I had the same thought. Anyways, he went out there to the airport yesterday to open it up, and it was like. There's nothing wrong with being at the airport, but it's a little Spinal Tap-ish,
I give him more slack on that than being posting his workout videos. But the most recent video about him recently isn't even him. Yeah, he posted some pictures, but that's Coach Prime. You got to give Coach Prime some crap for posting him then.
Well, Coach Prime is on a different deal. Coach Prime is trying to get attention for the CU program, period. It's a different situation.
But that's why the video is out. It's not like Russell's team went out there and posted it.
No, but the next day, Russ felt the need on his own to put stuff out there. And then he's out at the airport later on doing a press conference. I just find it funny that you're opening up a store and you may be interrupted by flights to Albany are delayed. Flights to Albany are now at
boarding on gate C23.
C23. Okay. Go ahead, Russ. Finish your statement.
Real quick, though, let us know in the comments because I'm curious. Like, obviously, D-Mac and I can sit here and we can chit-chat about, Russ is posting too much on social media. As a fan of the Denver Broncos or a fan of Russell Wilson or the game of football, do you care if he posts on social media? I'm, generally curious, so please post that in the comments. I'm dying to know.
Frankly, I kind of don't care either.
Then why is it such a conversation?
It's cringy.
But if you don't care, why does it matter?
Because all that cringe stuff seems to seep into the season, and it's just like it hurt as a Broncos fan, I think, to have your star be made fun of. I mean, it just was like, and it's another one of these like, what matters here? Does this what's important and what's not important? So
well, at the end of the day, I hate to break it to people, the brand of the individual person is bigger than long term. Okay, long term. If you're looking at Russell Wilson, his long term brand matters more than his time with the Denver Broncos.
Okay, well
I hate to be the barrier of bad news, and I semi agree with it, but the long term brand matters more.
He's making $41 million to play football for the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
I have no idea how much he's making peddling T-shirts at the mall, but he's making $41 million. I don't know what else they sell there. Handbags, shorts. I don't know what I don't know. Do you get a breakfast burrito and a latte?
Yeah.
To get that flight to San Diego? I mean, what else do you sell?
Also, though, he hasn't been. I remember a few weeks ago. Maybe I guess it might have been a couple months. He was at DIA going through security. He was not on his private plane.
Well, because I think he was doing a deal for Delta. I think he probably has a marketing, because it was all about Delta. This with Delta, that with Delta. So I'm like, the cynic in me, cynical, says, oh, well, you must have some sort of deal with Delta.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, let me point out that was Delta.
Yeah.
His concourse is with Southwest. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
He's not I don't even know where the Delta concourse is.
I think A.
Okay.
Because B is United. I'm a United fan.
I'll take your word for it. I'm like, not that I get anything out of it, but I fly Southwest all the time, so that's just mine.
I used to fly Southwest when it was $100, and now it's $400, and they just keep jacking up the price a little bit more,
Yeah, but you get those points. You get
those on United too. You just got to stay loyal to one. Anyways, asking in the comments, people said, I don't mind what Russ is doing. I'll mind if we lose games.
Right.
Only
of
that.
Course. That's what matters.
If Russ ain't winning, it makes it worse regardless.
Right.
And I'm a Bears fan. It's not up to me. It's Peyton. Dustin says no, he doesn't care. It's interesting.
No, whoever said that about the winning, that's the right answer. It's really not that big of a deal as long as you're winning. And when you're losing, everything gets blown up.
Yeah.
When you're not succeeding, and this isn't different in football than anything in life. If you're succeeding, like Bill Belichick, I think the Patriots have been lousy in the draft and done weird things, but they've won over the years. So you're just kind of like, well, okay, I guess it all works.
Sure.
Now the Patriots are in this little bump, and all of a sudden there's little rumors coming out. This is no different than anything in life. If you're not successful, if it's not working, everything gets picked apart. Should you have done this better? Should you have done that better? It's just like you're giving ammunition for it. So whatever, it isn't a big deal as long as you're winning, and then it's okay.
Yeah.
But look at some of the other things that have changed that we were told were no big deal.
Yep.
Like we were told that Patrick Surtain shouldn't return punts. Sean Payton has him returning punts. We were told field day was no big deal. All of a sudden, we don't have field day anymore. So I would challenge people to say, well, what is a big deal and what's not? And inevitably, when you're losing, change is inevitable too.
Yep.
So when you see Russ going back, and again, I get it, it's not necessarily a big deal, but when you see him going back into these cringy sort of things, I mean, you're opening a clothing store in the mall, in the airport. The one in the mall closed down. And it's like, yeah, you can be a businessman and do whatever. But I mean, you're between gate 47 and 49.
Does anyone know if Sarah was there?
I think if Sarah's there, we would have seen her. But I don't know. I see Russ at a podium, and there's, guys trying to,
I get it. It's awkward. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's cringy,
and we haven't really seen much of this at all summer. And then it's like, boo, here I am. I haven't left.
One more thing that I will excuse Russ for is we all know how long it takes for certain things to develop, like a clothing store, a clothing brand, yada, yada. This has been in the works for a long time. And I'm sure when Russell Wilson came to Denver, they said, this is a fresh start. This is a great time to do all of these things. Things are going to be really good. And it's not like you can just throw away everything because they had a bad season.
Rachel,
I know.
I'll tell you one more time.
I'm just trying.
If you didn't hear me the first time, everybody, he makes $41 million this year.
And he wants to make 50. Who cares?
All right. Who knows? You want to sell tote bags at the airport? Go for it. I would just sit on my $41 million and sort of focus on football. But hey, those tote bags.
He gets that $41 million regardless if he plays well or not. So,
hey, Rachel, those neck sleepers aren't going to sell themselves.
Do you have one?
I don't, but they look incredibly comfortable. I would love a 3-brand whatever neck sleeper. Can I get one of those?
Listen, I bought a neck sleeper and it is actually so comfortable, and I can sleep for like 3 hours on a flight, which is incredible. Yeah, it's not one of those like memory foam ones though. It like has some support.
I just want to know where he gets those packaged sandwiches, like those turkey sandwiches, and they're in the freezer, so I can go see everything Russell, and I can get a ham sandwich on my way to my flight to Detroit.
On that note, I can probably take a guess at somebody that would love to be making $50 million a year. Ross Colton is the new forward for the Colorado Avalanche. I want to know, with the moves that they're making, they're giving up a draft pick in 2023. I want to make sure that I'm correct on that.
Okay.
In the 2023 draft. Do you think that they're buying in enough? Like they're looking at it kind of like the Nuggets did of this is the time now. We do have the star players. We've talked a lot about those star players. McKinnon, obviously Landy's not going to be there. You still got Makar. You got Taves. You got Miko the Moose.
Mm-hmm.
Are they buying in enough for you to be like, all right, they're trying to compete because they know this is the time now, instead of being like, hey, like let's look ahead?
Well, they have 3 of the top 10 players in the world with Makar, McKinnon, and Rantanen. And then not far behind is Taves, and we'll see what happens with Val, right?
True. And is it bad that I keep skipping over Val?
No, it's understandable, and I think he will be back, and I think we'll never really find out everything that happened. I think we kind of know, but whatever. I don't think they're going to tell us, and I don't know if anybody's going to really dig into it all that much. So who knows? It's hard to say, Rachel, because what they were lacking last year was any kind of significant contribution from anybody except for the Stars. The Stars did their job. I mean, you had a 100-plus point season from Miko and from Mac, and Makar wasn't quite exactly the same, but he's still one of the best defensemen in the world. So certainly a top 10 player in the world. So, no beefs there. You got better goaltending from Georgiev than you got from Kemper the year before, even though you won the Stanley Cup. And what you just didn't get was, where was that? And this is where the Kadri fans.
Where's Will Peterson when you need him?
Well, they've got a good argument here because, Lars Eller wasn't Kadri, and Val just wasn't around, obviously. And Nieto wasn't Kadri, and nobody was Kadri. And you didn't get the other. Malgin is like, my height, even shorter. And so what you've seen with the Avs, Rachel, is they've admitted some of these things by who they've actually jettisoned and got rid of, and they got.
We know they wanted to get bigger.
They got much bigger. They have much more size.
Yep.
Colton's a rough and tumble sort of dude with a championship experience.
Played for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And they've moved on from stalwarts like JT Compher and up and comers like Alex Newhook. So, and Eric Johnson, which is pretty wild to me that he's still going to play in the NHL and not with the Avalanche.
Would you have retired?
No, Eric Johnson. No, why the hell would Eric? EJ is single. He's in his early 30s. Like, why the hell would he retire? He still feels good. He loves hockey. Why would he retire?
There's so many times that we talk about when you reach the top, it can be really hard that those years afterwards, right? Like if you've already reached the top, what else are you fighting for?
Yeah, but like if you're single, you got nothing else.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do? I mean, he's gonna go to
money.
He's gonna go to Buffalo. He's gonna be a star at the Pier, which is on Lake Erie.
Okay.
And he is going to, there's unbelievable lakeside condos, which are very close to the arena.
D-Mac knows where he's going to live. He knows where EJ's going to live.
I would be stunned if he didn't live in one of these condos, which is, I mean, listen, man, Buffalo ain't that bad. It really isn't. And in terms of playing hockey, it's, they love their hockey there. Yeah. And the Avs, jettisoned him. He would have stayed.
Yeah.
But, he's gone. So you're asking me, like, how is this all going to go with these new guys? How's Colton going to be? I really don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll be excited to find out. And hockey will be here before you know it, soon enough. But we are in a little bit of a break, too. We're in a break from basketball. We're in a break from hockey. We're in this very, very strange window. Mm-hmm. Seriously, there's no summer league. There's no workouts going on. Yep. There's just nothing.
We're just seeing players go to weddings.
That's why. Oh, who'd you see go to a wedding?
Didn't you? Mac went to a wedding.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I'm trying. I don't remember whose wedding it was, but of course it was him and Crosby next to each other, like hanging out.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Black tie wedding. Love to see it.
There you go.
That would be a wild. Actually, going to like an NHL player's wedding. I can't imagine.
I don't.
All those guys know how to drink.
Okay, Rachel. All right. We'll see what's
important. We saw the party for.
How's your wedding going, by the way? What's new there?
No,
you got a spot?
No.
How do you not have a spot?
Because it's so hard to get a spot.
You've been to like 50 places.
I've been to.
How many places have you been to?
9, 8.
You've been to 8 places and you don't have one?
Yeah, because. I know, but it's expensive, and you just want to make sure you get a good deal. Like, we know which spot we want. We're just trying to finagle some things in there.
Oh, okay. So we know where we want to be.
Yeah.
Is the date available?
Yep. It's saved. We're just trying to like.
Oh, so we got a spot. We do got a spot.
But if they don't come down, then I'm gonna be like, well, we'll see. We'll see. There's lots of wedding stuff is interesting. Plus, Jake Shapiro left last night for his wedding this Saturday. Our little boy Jakey.
That's awesome. So what do you mean he left?
He left because he's going to New Mexico for his wedding.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yep. Because none of us were invited.
That's okay.
That's really okay.
I don't need to travel to New Mexico.
If you told me that, I would have to get in my car and drive to Albuquerque. I mean,
he's having. I can't remember if he told me 260 or something. Like it's a big wedding. It's a big wedding.
I'm sorry. He's having 260 people and we didn't get invited?
Yeah. But I think he's got like massive family.
I thought he was having like 30 people there.
Oh no, it's a big wedding.
He's having 260 and we didn't get an invite?
I can't remember if it's 260 was the amount of invites he sent out or that's how many were going. We were talking about it yesterday, but yeah, I'm like, okay.
That is.
Go Jake Shapiro.
That is insane.
I know. Yeah, we didn't get an invite.
260.
But that's okay. It's expensive to go to weddings. I don't blame Jake one bit over that one. But we do wish him luck and we're excited for him for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Weddings.
Anything else you want to share?
No, it just stresses me out. You know what else stresses me out?
What?
The running back position and this whole situation that's going on now with them wanting to go to the NFLPA, the Players Association, how they're like striking on striking and then posting on social media. Like, I'm like, this is all stressing me out.
It's a weird situation. I think I actually came up with a solution for it, which was very, organic and but it makes sense. So here's what's going on. The average salary for running backs is something like 1.8 million, which is less than the average salary for kickers.
Yep, I've got that.
Now the
1.81 million, 2.26 million for a kicker.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
Now, what they want to do with Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley, the Giants, the Raiders. And what's Pollard on? I'm not even sure. Anyways, what they want to do is they want to franchise tag him.
Yeah.
So they get 1 year. And right now, the franchise tag number is $10 million. Well, it's hard to feel sorry for guys that are going to make $10 million in 1 year.
For sure.
But what their point is this is unfair collectively as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a group text together. This is not a joke.
No,
they got a group text together and they said on this particular day, we should all like complain about it on social media.
Yep.
And like only a couple of guys complained about it.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't even.
There's still a good amount here.
How many?
Christian McCaffrey, Eckler, Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Raheem Mozart.
Yeah, I know. So there are like 6 guys. There are like 6 running backs that like complained about stuff. Now, Christian McCaffrey complaining about money is like I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like a fish complaining about being wet. I mean, it's like Christian, you have the best deal of any running back that exists right now.
Let's see what Christian put real quick.
He was trying to be, this is outrageous and it's crazy.
This is criminal. Three of the best players in the entire league, regardless of position.
Yeah, it's not criminal, Christian, with all due respect. And I love Christian McCaffrey. What it is sadly where things have gone in the NFL because of the contract structure. So the way things go, and running backs have the shortest overall careers of anybody.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think NFL owners know that? You don't think everybody knows it? So if you sign a contract, you get 4 years, right?
Yep.
And then if you're a first-round draft pick, the club has the option for the 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have any control. Well, if you get drafted in the first round, a club basically controls your entire career.
Yep.
Well, that's not right. I actually think that's ridiculous. So the length of an NFL player's career, average length of his career, I do think should be factored in to the contracts that are allowed.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to figure that out through the collective bargaining agreement. You've got to figure it out with your union reps. So here's what I propose. I would propose for the running back position or any position in the NFL that has a shortened amount of time that you have a shortened contract coming out. So I wouldn't change anything in the first round. But here's what I would do. If you're drafted second round through undrafted, instead of a 4-year initial deal,
you got like a 2-year.
You get I said 3.
Okay.
I said 3, a 3-year deal. And if they do decide to franchise tag you as a running back, you get 2 years on your franchise tag, not 1. So a club would have to commit to you like they would a first-round running back. The first-round running backs tend to do okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guys that are more disposable later on.
Okay.
So it would put guys, and you could look into maybe amending things. Even I would put the 2-year franchise tag even on the first-round running backs too.
Okay.
I wouldn't shorten their length of time, but if you're going to tag a running back, I would make it 2 years, not 1 year. And I would say for rounds 2 through undrafted, 3 years, not 4 years. And I think if you did that, you would put the gun to the owners' heads a little bit more. And I think that the salaries of running backs would naturally rise to the relevance of their value, which is significant. So there you go. That's my big idea. But having some sort of, mealy mouth, whiny social media protest is going to do absolutely nothing. That's not a good plan.
What would you have recommended that they do then?
They should have done what I just suggested. It took me like 5 seconds to come up with this.
But they can't do that.
They should have collectively gotten together as a running backs union. Back in the day, this is way back in the day, but there used to be something called the Quarterbacks Club. Okay. And it was like Dan Marino and John Elway and Jim Kelly and these guys.
Yep.
And they actually negotiated things collectively together for quarterbacks. But
isn't that what the PA does?
Well, the PA's done a lousy job on a lot of things.
I mean, I'm not giving them too much credit, but
yeah,
that's their job technically.
To think that the contract structure should be the same for a running back whose career is so significantly shorter than, say, an offensive lineman. And these guys, offensive linemen tend to just play forever, And so I would look at all the positions, though, seriously. Mm-hmm. And I would certainly do better for health benefits. And I would help guys at the bottom of the roster, undrafted guys who are putting just as much on the line for their physical well-being. I would do a lot of things, but the union has to fight for this.
Yeah.
And they've got, in my opinion, have to do a better job. So all these whiny running backs right now, all they've done is not paid attention to what's happening at their position in their job. And now they're complaining about it. And so to me, that just doesn't wash. You needed to be smarter about this in the first place. Get together, man. It's not that hard. It really isn't. I mean, how many running backs are there in the NFL? 200? Maybe. I mean, organize it somehow. But nobody in the NFL wants to do it. These players are terrified for their jobs for the most part. They don't pay attention to the union votes. They just raise their hand yes to everything. They don't know what's going on with their own jobs, and it's created the greatest sport in the world because things can change so quickly. So it's unfair for the players, but it's great for the fans.
You said it, though, that they are scared. That's what they are. They're scared. That's why you're only seeing the big names that are not going to get tossed. Because if you are some younger guy that nobody knows your name, you're not going to talk.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And the running backs have another problem, too. They're almost all like 5'10" to 6'1", 215 to 20 pounds. Yep. And they all run like a 4'5".
Yep.
So, like, when they fall off the turnip truck like that, it's hard to separate the really, really great ones. And there are really, really great ones. But here's what happens to the really, really great ones. They get used up and hurt, and they get thrown out, So you've got to make it more impactful in a shorter period of time. Yep. Terrell Davis had, 6 years? 6 years as an NFL running back? Something like that? Something along those lines? And he's one of the best of all time. So even the really, really good guys, they use them up, and then they throw him aside.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a bummer. And right behind that superstar that they threw aside, here comes this college kid out of Georgia who's 5'10", 215, who runs a 4.5 40.
Yep.
And you realize
young, healthy.
He's unbelievable.
He can do it
Relatively for 4 years. And then you get the next guy.
It's just the cycle.
And there's unbelievable athletes coming out of college. There's just a lot of them.
Yep.
There are not a lot of 6'6", 320-pound tackles.
Yep.
There aren't. And that's why it's harder to find those guys. And those guys just tend to have longer careers.
Well,
it's the way it goes. It's football has changed dramatically. And now you see the impact that receivers are having because the rules protecting quarterbacks, Rachel, have changed so significantly. Now the value of a wide receiver is like through the roof because these quarterbacks have more ways to get them the ball.
Sure.
Do you know what the average yard is per carry from the best running team to the last running team in the NFL is?
No.
5.4 for the Bears, 3.4 for Tampa.
Wow.
So from 32nd place to first place, per carry is 2 yards.
Wow.
2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. So that's the state of the running backs.
Okay, well, Russell Wilson, we've given a little bit of crap for the video that was posted down at Folsom. But the question is, and we want you all to watch it and pay attention, it's a minute-long clip. And tell me if you're at all worried about what you saw out of this clip. And Nate Jackson will join us on the other side.
We'll just watch some of the guys warming up for practice and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Early morning workouts? Yeah. On the got it. 5. Skate right. Hard climb. Go left. Oh, baby. There's it. Skate right. Don't go left. Go left. Nice. There you go.
You know well, we taking notes and they watching you. Cause the smoke text and address, money over text.
Nice job.
Struck a lot of lighters, broke a lot of all night.
Joins us now. We'll bring him in. Good morning. First of all, how was your show this morning?
It was fun. It was fun as usual. Yeah, I
Nice.
tried to get Chad to sing the CU fight song, and he wouldn't do it.
Really?
No,
Does he
That's
know
kind of
it?
an easy one.
Does he know it?
he knows it. And he said we were talking about.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
I won't sing the Rams one because I don't know it. And
No, but
D-Mac
see,
gives me crap.
nobody knows the CSU fight song.
I
But
just really do that.
it's got the greatest word in any fight song.
Yeah.
It's got the word asunder
Oh,
in their fight song.
well, you don't use that on just daily, everyday
Do
conversation.
you know what asunder even means?
Yeah, I'm feeling asunder right now. No, I don't know. I don't. Did I use that correctly?
I don't know.
not even close, but don't
It
worry.
means under something, right? I mean,
As under.
Right.
That's right.
Asunder.
As
Yeah.
under. As under.
yeah, it was probably written like 200 years ago. So
I think so, but I
From
just
dictionary.com. Apart/divided.
yeah,
Beautiful.
thrown asunder by some sort
it's
of
something
conflict.
like
or
that. That's,
whatever.
but
It's
nobody
fine.
at CSU, everybody knows shoulder to shoulder.
I don't know it.
No, nobody from CSU knows their fight
No,
song.
it's no, our football
Why
team's not
did you
very
try
good.
to get Chad to sing his fight song?
We were talking about being a rookie in the NFL and what that was like. Did they have to, tell a joke or tell a story? And he said he had to stand on a chair in a meal room and sing his fight song. And so I was like, well,
Oh.
can you do it now for us? He's like, nope, I won't do it. And even when
So he's scarred from it. My goodness.
well, yeah, I mean, you get Orlando to sing. I mean, I was able to get Orlando to sing, but Chad will never sing, man. He's just kind of,
That's surprising because I think he's got a good voice too.
What'd you have to do in your rookie days?
I didn't have to do anything. I was
Oh.
with the 49ers. They didn't have anything.
Interesting.
And then I got traded here.
So should I make you get on this chair right
yeah.
now and sing your fight
I
song?
don't have a fight song.
Oh,
You guys didn't have a fight
boo.
song?
Not that I went to Menlo College. We were the Oaks. We had 500 students. We're a Division III school. We didn't have a fight song, dude. We didn't have any cheerleaders.
Should I just make you sing like your favorite song then or something?
No, please
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
But you
Fair
went
enough.
to Cal Poly though for a little
I did.
bit.
I didn't know that fight song. But I didn't play for that.
What was your fight song?
Down the field goes to Syracuse.
Oh, okay.
Flush the back, hit the line, and go through. Down
I
the
shoulda
field,
known
like a
that he
bunch.
would do
Fighting for
this
the
one.
Garnish starts to true victories inside for all Syracuse. Each loyal son knows that fill in the blank will lose. But we'll fight. Yes, we'll fight for all. Might for the glory of all Syracuse. Go fight and win.
Fill in the blank will
They
lose.
literally have fill in the blank. And they say down the field, and it's the same fight song for the basketball team as the football team. They don't care.
Good
Go
times.
Syracuse Orange.
Or the Vale of Onondaga. I know it all.
Okay.
That's the.
We'll move on
you have
before
a
we get more.
beautiful voice too.
No, I have a
Oh.
horrific voice, but
Oh,
It's
man.
beautiful.
I appreciate
It's beautiful.
Voice of an angel.
All right, Nate Jackson. We obviously just watched the video. DMAC gave us a little commentary on the other side of the microphone. You said, though, it's troubling. Why?
Okay, I want you guys to stay with me here because physically he looks great. He's in good shape. He's running
Yep.
around. His arm looks good. He seems to be agile, running here, there, everywhere. Jay keeps go there, boom, 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 throwing on a dime.
Boom.
But to me, that's not how you play successful quarterback in the NFL. Russell, look at your predecessors who played into their late 30s and beyond. You play that long by getting the ball out of your hands quickly. And I feel like Russell, when he's alone in his, whatever, in his moment, and he's envisioning himself playing quarterback, that's what he's doing. He's running around and making a miraculous throw. Getting the ball out of your hands on time is not very sexy. You're not the hero, but you're getting the ball to your guys and letting them make a play. Those guys are the ones who get paid to run with the football, and they're 23, 24, 25 years old. You're not, Russell. You're 35. I am worried that we're going to see the same Russell that we did last year, but worse because it wasn't Nathaniel Hackett. It's Russell. He wants to be the hero. And I hope I'm wrong. I don't want Russell to feel like he has to be the hero. I want him to get the ball out of his hands and let his buddies make the play so he stays clean. He had 3 injuries last year that we know of. He didn't get any younger. He's older now. So I'm worried that his body won't hold up playing that style of football.
All right, for the sake of argument, isn't it fair, though, to say during any practice you need to rep possible situations that you may encounter? So what if he had 20 drop back pocket passes in that practice, but it was just kind of more fun in the edited video to show those 4 or 5 where he's scrambling around? Should he not practice 4 or 5 passes where he's scrambling around?
Not really. I mean, not to me. I've never been on a team like every once in a while you do scramble drill, okay, where a play breaks down and you have to improvise, and each receiver has a job to do. When the quarterback rolls to your side, you give him a throw, you come parallel with him. One guy goes deep, one guy comes back to the ball, that kind of thing. But it's something you do just a couple of times. Like, no, we never practiced scripted extensions of plays in the way that it seems as if Russell does with himself and with Jay Keeps, who he's paying to run him through these drills. These are drills that Russell likes and puts on social media because he thinks they make him look good, prepare him for the season, whatever.
I'm just laughing because he was simulating a bad offensive line, basically.
Yeah.
Right. So this is in his mind. Those are the plays he wants to make. Does he want to hit his back foot on a 5-step drop and get it out of his hand quick and let Jerry Jeudy run with it and score a touchdown? Yeah, maybe. But if he had his choice, I'm sure he'd rather roll around a little bit, juke some guys, and then throw deep for a touchdown.
Does he have to do that because of his size?
No. Did Drew Brees do that?
He did not.
So this is about the system. We saw his style of play be ineffective last year. This is why Sean Payton came here to give him a different brand of football.
What do you think Sean Payton was thinking when he was watching that?
What are you doing, Russell?
Really?
Yeah,
Like that?
absolutely.
Okay.
Or like maybe just rolled his eyes a little bit, but that's not the kind of football we're going to play here. We're going to, is that Sean Payton?
You're getting there.
Yep.
You're getting there.
We're going to, it's going to be like, look, it's when you come.
Yeah, there's a pause. There's look.
There's a lot of metaphors. Look,
Overemphasize the pause.
Yeah. So it's kind of like when you're going to, something like that.
So good. That was so good.
It's, we're going to, yep.
Do you
That's good. That's good.
I know.
That's
I
good.
can't stop laughing. In my head, though, I'm just like, okay, if Russ is going to play hero ball, it's not going to last very long with Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So does that mean we're going to see Stidham?
Yeah, so my hope is that they get on the same page and they win Super Bowls and they both retire on the same day 10 years from now and all that.
Also, 1.2 years. That video was really long. There was a lot of Russ running around and doing all sorts of stuff. So I feel like at some point they would have shown him just dropping back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I'm at.
So my hope is that Sean Payton gets him to play the brand of football that's going to create longevity, availability, allow his playmakers to make plays, catch the ball with yards in front of them so they can make moves.
Please.
So that requires timing. It requires boom, boom. My hope is that that'll happen, but I feel like it might not. Russell's going to do all that stuff. He's going to try to make a play that's not there. He's going to get hurt, and then he's going to push through the injury. It's going to be a gutsy performance and a close loss. He'll be questionable the next week. He'll go out there and try really hard, and he'll be grimacing on the sidelines. They'll be massaging him, and he'll lose another close one. This is my fear, Rachel.
I was like, this is just reminding me of last year a lot. So this is stressing me out a little bit.
Because that's who he is.
So it wasn't Hackett in your eyes.
I think it was a little bit of Hackett, but I think it's also Russell because that's why he left Seattle, so he could play his brand of football.
Yeah.
Not so he could play, sound, fundamental quarterback play. But that's what's going to let you play till you're 40, my opinion.
You've obviously been in a locker room and you've had the coaches. When you want to play a certain way, regardless of what your coach says, are you going to play that way? Or are you terrified where you're like, well, okay, never mind. I'm just going to shut down everything I want to do.
For me, I'm going to do exactly what I'm told.
Okay.
And I always did, even when I had an objection to it. Like there were times when I was like, why are we doing it that way? But then I go out on the field and I do it the way the coach tells me because I didn't have a lot of job security, Rachel.
Okay.
Neither
does Russell Wilson besides the contract.
Russell Wilson. And so if he does do that stuff, then he will get benched and Jarrett Stidham will go in. And Jarrett Stidham will throw a couple touchdowns and everybody will get real excited about this new quarterback. And a couple weeks later, it'll come crashing back down to earth. And people, this is the fear, not the hope.
Okay.
I hope that these guys are going to win multiple Lombardi trophies together, retire on the same day, and get inducted in the Hall of Fame on the same day and introduce each other. For their speeches.
Beautiful. What a lovely love story.
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
My fear is that Russell is not going to be able to perform to Sean Payton's standards, and neither is Jarrett Stidham.
It's great watching. Have you watched Quarterback on Netflix? Have you seen that?
I haven't yet, but I've heard you gushing about it.
Gushing, quite literally.
What is amazing,
that's a love story all on its own.
Is no matter how much you practice or how much you do, sometimes the moment of a game just sort of fries your brain in terms of decision making. And you can practice very scientifically. And it was specifically with like Kirk Cousins and Kevin O'Connell, who looks amazing as a head coach. And, Kirk called something and Kevin was like, hey, man, just tell me you want to do that and we'll get the right personnel out for it next time. So it's so some of these quarterbacks, some football players just make decisions where they can't kind of help themselves that they instantly feel bad about. It happens. Human beings make mistakes. And what I'm hearing from you, Nate, I think, is that when Russ inevitably, as all humans do, make mistakes, it could be very costly if you just get into bad habits. Have you really bought in or not? And if you haven't bought in, it's likely the degree of mistakes is probably more likely to happen. So the big question is, do you think Russ is bought in? Do you think he will buy in?
No.
Why?
Because
after everything from last year,
he's the playmaker who runs around and throws on the run.
So we saw evidence of why he's not buying.
So you're talking about the instinct that kicks in the moment where you don't make the right decision and muscle memory kicks in. He's training his muscle memory to tell him to exit the pocket and do all that stuff.
When he should
whereas
keep it in.
Peyton, bad example, but Peyton Manning, his muscle memory tells him when that's there, ditch the ball
or fall down.
Either or.
And
which we saw a lot of.
Because not only are you risking an interception or whatever, you're risking injury, Russell.
Live to play the next game.
You're risking injury because you are not young anymore. And those guys who are coming after you are, and they want to hurt you. They want to knock you out of the game. He has to understand that and get the ball out of his hands. He was sacked 55 times last year, guys. Crazy. It's not all the offensive line's fault, not all Nathaniel Hackett's fault. He has to play a different brand of football. My concern is that he's gassing himself up to play the hero ball thing. And Sean Payton's got to get that out of his head.
So the muscle memory, actually, that you mentioned, that's what kind of does freak you out when you sit and think about it.
Were you overly impressed with his throws?
No.
Why?
Because he's an NFL quarterback.
Well, that's what I said. And I keep telling people, when I was out at the OTAs and mini camps, and there were 4 quarterbacks out there, Danucci, Guarantano, Stidham, and Wilson. And if you just landed from a spaceship from Mars, say there is life there, you really wouldn't be able to tell watching the practices who the best quarterback was.
That's
because they all kind of look the same.
But that's sort of the case in practice. It always kind of is.
Hey, cool. Fine. But to think that we were seeing something on that video that other NFL quarterbacks can't do is like kind of crazy. Like, Jarrett Guarantano, whoever that is, he can run around. He's like 6'3". He can throw it 50, 60 yards. Guess what? Every single NFL quarterback, including Tim Tebow, that I've ever seen over 30 years can throw a ball 50 to 60 yards down the field. And really, there's not much more reason to throw a ball more than 50 or 60 yards. You don't have to throw a 70-yard pass, but you do have to throw a ball about 50 or 60 yards with a little hang time. They can all do it. I've seen everybody do it over 30 years.
They can all do it. So then what separates a really good quarterback, a Peyton Manning-style quarterback, from Jarrett Stidham? Is it just their mind? Is it how
That's a big part of it.
they come into the
It is a
game and
huge part of
prepare?
it. So comparing anybody with Peyton Manning's hard because he's like the unicorn of unicorn. He's like a
Yeah.
tri-horned unicorn.
Yeah.
There's never going to be another Peyton Manning the way he controlled the line of scrimmage and put his team, his offense in the best position to take advantage of what the defense was showing. That
Yep.
was just so much experience, so much power given to him to have that
Mhm.
kind of control in the moment. But I would say for a quarterback to separates the good from the bad, taking what the defense gives you, getting the ball out of your hands quickly, not making the big mistake, being available for your team every single day at practice, in the games. You're not getting hurt. You're not, that's why I'm worried when I see him run around because like Justin Fields is the same, dude. You run around so much, you're going to get hurt. And I heard you talking the other day about, well,
Come
if
after
Justin
me now.
Fields had played the last game, he might have done ... He didn't because he was hurt because he runs too much. He is a running back. Now he has a great arm.
Wow.
He's got a great
I
arm.
thought we were friends.
There is no longevity is an
Damn.
issue with a guy like that, especially with these athletes who are coming to get you. Like I said, they're
Shoot.
trying to hurt you. So availability is a huge thing. And just get the ball into your playmakers' hands and let them do the work. You don't need to run around.
Can you imagine if Justin Fields didn't have the worst defense in the NFL last year? What do you think that would look like?
Lord.
Well, he did. They had the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. You think he would have got a few more wins? Do you think he wouldn't have had to take so many chances? Do you think he would have been able to control things a little bit better? To think that he can't throw and make, all right, you know what? Whatever. We're having a season. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Incredibly talented player. I'm not taking that away from
Oh,
Justin
see how
Fields.
it goes.
Style of play.
But listen, he wouldn't be the first quarterback, Josh Allen, to start off running and making plays and learning while you're winning. It's okay to do that. Now, he hasn't been winning. I get it. But it's okay to go from one point to another. It's a development cycle as you get into anything that you do in life.
So then Russell Wilson at 35 years old should not be doing it.
Well, he's gone through the development cycle.
So,
That's over. Although I'll give you this. I'll give you this to Peyton. In Peyton's last year, Gary Kubiak comes in, and Gary wanted to run the ball under center a lot more. There was a player, his name was James Casey. He's like a fullback sort of guy, hybrid tight end fullback sort of dude. And it was weird because Peyton was actually practicing shadow, like with nobody around, just him practicing like taking a handoff because he was so unused to doing it. It was the James Casey system. Well, it didn't really work, and they went to a pistol, so not in the gun, but not under center, like this whole pistol format as a form of compromise. But they did go to a form of compromise. So even Peyton Manning was developing in his final year in the NFL to try to accommodate the best needs for the team. Is Wilson going to do that? That's the big question. If Peyton Manning was willing to do it, could Russell Wilson do it? We'll see.
Will we see
We'll see.
compromise out of the Peyton-Wilson duo? Or will we see Sean Payton be like, this is absolutely my team, my squad. You're going to do whatever the hell I tell you to do.
A lot of decisions are just going to be taken out of Wilson's hands because of the design of the play.
But you can also, as soon as you get out on the field, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah,
you can
could
say,
take matters
oh,
into your own hands.
yeah.
But then if it doesn't work, Sean Payton's going to have a short leash.
Is it
Sean
already
Payton's
short?
here for the long haul. He was in New Orleans for 16 seasons.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to build here. And then drop the mic and walk off into the sunset.
D-Mac doesn't think so.
Well, no, he'll be here. Well, I think he's only going to be
3
here.
years and then he's
Yeah,
gone.
but he'll be here
He's
as
going back
long.
to TV.
I agree with you inherently. He'll be here as long as he wants to be here. Like he's not in any kind of jeopardy or whatever. I just think at age 62 with $60 million in the bank, he'll go back to be a beach bum in Malibu and take that easy TV life. But that's just my opinion on that.
Look, it's like kind of when you find yourself with the type of people who, that whole thing.
That's right.
Yeah, got it.
Plus $60 million.
That's a lot of money.
Listen, I know how much weddings are recently. I just saw his daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
That wedding wasn't cheap. He might need to indeed work a few more years.
I think he got a little bored by the TV thing.
Maybe he did
It was just boring to do. And I think he just loves doing this. He loves coaching. He loves showing his phone to people, that annoying habit. Look at this. Anybody who just takes their phone and look at this. Has he
ever had a notification on it though? Or is his phone just like dry as
I don't
could
know
be?
what he's doing, but he's showing people his phone, which is an annoying habit. He's sitting, we saw it.
Yeah.
He's sitting next to Russell Wilson and Tim Patrick at Nuggets games, and he can't stop talking.
Yeah.
He's going over to the NBA play-by-play crew and giving them stats during the game. I mean, he was sitting in an Avalanche game, like explaining what a hockey stick was to Greg Penner.
Yeah.
The guy can't
It
help
was
himself.
so funny.
How long do you think the father of the bride's speech was at the wedding?
Oh my,
For Sean
that
Payton.
is a great question.
Over under what, like
I'm going to say
14 minutes.
Wow.
Wow,
14?
yeah. I was going to say over or under like 6 or 7.
Yeah, man. I think.
But that's a long speech, too.
14 is long.
Oh, 14
He's
is
got a lot to
ridiculous.
say. He's got to make some connections and bring it back.
I'm sure it wasn't quick.
There's only one person who can ask that question, and he's, in fact, in this room.
Yeah.
D-Mac can ask that question
Please
the
ask
next
him.
time we see him.
What? How long was your speech?
Just say, Coach, how was your daughter's wedding? How was the speech?
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for all that crap all over again.
I've never seen D-Mac back down from a challenge, and I don't expect it to happen now.
How was your speech? How was that speech, Coach? I don't know. I don't know how to weave that one in. That's I got to think about that one. That's a good challenge, though. Hey, the offseason was.
How was your daughter's wedding?
Amazing. Your daughter's. How was your speech? Something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, how was your speech?
Right here on Coffee Break. That was a great question. How many wins are you giving the Broncos this season?
Like an 8 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Everybody's in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Does Wilson get benched?
I hope not.
It's not my answer. That's not my
He
question.
won't get he won't get benched for performance, but he may get injured. And there's guys like Wilson. Listen. First of all, you're always hurt. Like every NFL guy has got something.
Yeah.
So nobody's just gonna get benched. I mean, listen, man.
If Sean Payton has a short leash.
I'll tell you this: when they were down 17-0 in the first quarter to the Rams, like if you could somehow survive that, that's when he should have been benched. I mean, that was pathetic.
Yeah.
And that was the game that everybody's yelling at everybody, and we hear about the coaches, enjoying Christmas the night before, and nobody was focused. And that is what got Hackett fired.
Yeah.
But that's also a game where Hackett clearly should have benched Russell Wilson. It wasn't happening that day. It's 17-0, not good, but it's early. You're not out of the football game. You're still there. Time to win the football game and not time just to pump up Russell Wilson. That's a more interesting question, guys. And I'll just throw it back to you. If there's moments like that, so it's not like he'd be benched forever, but if there's moments like it's just not working early in the game, do you think he gets taken out by Sean Payton?
I think it depends on how Jared Stidham looks.
Yeah, it also depends on where they're at in the season, the prospects of the team and whatnot. They're
They're 4-5.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like the season's still, it's like so-so. They're 4-5. And I forget who that game is after the bye. I think it's the Bills. It's the Bills after a bye week, and you would have played the Chiefs twice, by the way. So you're 4-5, something like that. You're playing the Bills on the road, and it's 17-0 in the first quarter in Buffalo.
Yeah, man.
What are you
Pull them
doing?
out. Pull them out.
Pull them out.
You know what? Because I don't have a precious view of quarterbacks and their egos and their sensitivities. Like you can treat everyone else like that, but you can't do that to a quarterback because of the confidence that gets shaken.
Can you pull them out and then just start him the next game?
Absolutely.
A guy can have a bad game,
Yeah.
can he?
You remember they were doing that in Miami a little bit with Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
They ended up, having a spark from Ryan Fitzpatrick from here from time to time. But there was also concern about the hit to the ego and the confidence that happens with a quarterback. But that was Tua. He was a very young quarterback. Russell Wilson, he's an older quarterback, so he should be able to bounce back from a blow to the ego like that, right? And maybe that's what he needs to be like, okay, I got to change what I'm doing a little bit, or this guy's going to yank me.
Right. And if there's no fear of that whatsoever, you're probably likely to just go off script more often. But thank God you practiced that with Jake Heaps up in Boulder.
In Boulder. Also, I love that Prime is just going around on his little segue.
Oh,
Well, there's a deeper
feel bad,
there's a
man.
deeper story to that.
Well, I know, but I love that. Like he's like, I'm not just done. I'm not going to just sit around. I'm going to find a different mode of transportation.
My
I'm gonna go for it.
admiration, like he and I are roughly the same age,
Yeah.
if not exactly the same age, actually. And I feel bad for him, man. I think he's putting
Scary
on a
stuff.
brave face. If people don't know, the reason he's using a Segway or a bicycle to get around isn't because of ego or he thinks it's cool. He really does have serious problems in his leg and his feet, his circulation and his system, like scary.
he has toes amputated.
Yes,
And he had blood clots in his thighs that he had to remove because there's no there's a threat of him losing his leg.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was like actually a really big discussion a few weeks ago.
terrifying stuff. So I am so impressed by Prime,
Same.
that he is just out there smiling and with energy. And I mean, I just can't even imagine having that such a brave face. So my respect for Prime listen, he wasn't just a good or great athlete. He was one of the greatest American athletes, seriously, ever, for what he could do. And to think that he's my age, like, whatever, but I don't need any of that. I can walk around and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't think about stuff like that. And that he has to be at one extreme, which was unreal, to this, hey man, good for him. he's a boy. Am I rooting for CU and good stuff to happen for that program and for Prime himself for sure.
T-Mac, you're the same age. Would you trade that for what Deion had? Would you be the best athlete of all time to have this at this age?
I absolutely would not. Money can be made and happy lives can be had in a million different ways. Having more money or more things doesn't define happiness to me, at least at my age. I know what's important to me and my family. So no, actually the answer is no. I wouldn't want that. So I would not trade places with him, even if I got all that. And that actually amazes me because every NFL player I talk to, even if they've got some sort of really tough injury,
wouldn't change a thing.
I know it's crazy. No. It's now you had some terrible injuries, as you went along, but you didn't have the longest NFL career, but you had a good NFL career, no doubt about it. But I don't know if anything's bothering you now.
No, I feel pretty good now.
So
you in the gym lifting?
I mean,
yeah.
you look freaking ridiculous.
I feel pretty good now. It's a testament to the human body. The human body wants to heal. When you get injured, your body wants to heal. I just have to stay on top of it and work out. And I don't have anything lingering like that, So,
but some guys, some guys that work at the station, but none of them. I swear to God, none of them say Rachel, Nate. None of them say they would change a thing. But maybe I don't know better because I never had those kind of amazing options.
Yeah.
But I do know what life is like now for me at my age. I know what that's like. I know what I like to do now. And to think that I can do things easily that Deion Sanders can't is mind blowing. And I wouldn't trade that actually. Because you know what? Guess what? You're more like I am now. I hate to bum everybody out for a longer period of time than you're a professional athlete. Yeah. Life is long, hopefully.
True. Good point. Great question on your part there.
Thanks,
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Happy to join you anytime.
Yeah, and great article, denversports.com. Check it out, everybody. D-Mac, is always a pleasure. And to everybody in the comments, thanks for hanging out with us. 10:30 tomorrow morning. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.